Hello, welcome back to Midnight Q. Back in DC Legends, picking up where we left off. I was gonna try to do this in the same day I was doing the other video, but I didn't realize I'd lost an hour doing that video, and I was originally gonna make all of this one long video, but that's not gonna be possible anymore. So this is gonna definitely. I'm announcing it as if you wouldn't know by now, but if you're watching this by now, I think this will probably be like part 3 or 4 or something like that. Um, it's hard to tell. I ended up posting like the first 5 minutes, 5 or 10 minutes all by itself because I'm just gonna have to make the whole thing shorter, especially if I do the whole roster. Anyway, starting back with Ares, there he is, and then that is actually a skin they did as this. I don't remember when they released this, but that was like a fancy special skin they did. I always thought it was weird because I got used to seeing him just in his armor. And that's the original look, and then you get the legendary look, and then you have his. I call this his human look, because of the Wonder Woman movie, they had him done up as the old man. I guess he didn't know what Ares would look like, so they didn't know who he was going to be, and so you kind of got the impression that the armor is how he really wanted to present himself, and or how he was really presented. And so that I kind of just come to look at this as the real Ares, and then you see that human looking one, like, what if that's what he really looks like? I don't know. So I thought that was kind of funny. Um, then we have Kyle Rayner. This is the White Lantern version. There's his original version, and this one kind of struck me off guard because when I came to his bearded version, I did a gag with my alliance. I posted a picture of I put the guy that played Riker on Star Trek: The Next Generation. I put his face over. I said, "Look, I got the mask off of him," and because I thought that looked like a Riker type beard, you know. Anyway, so yeah, this was a new skin they just came out with recently. I don't remember if this came out before that big when they released a bunch of skins for everybody. I don't remember if it was part of that now or if it was something we got during one of the last couple of raids. Uh, Headaches have been a little weird lately. They're actually doing better, but I still have the fogginess, and so it feels like my head's a little cluttered, even if it doesn't hurt as much. That's nice. It's nice though, but it's beside the point. But it makes things less clear when I'm trying to remember things. That's the real point. This is Steppenwolf. This was one of the newer skins they had as an add-on. I like this skin. This looks a little more to me like how I would remember Steppenwolf, as opposed to the Justice League movie, which gave us this kind of looking Steppenwolf. I always thought this one looked a little too greenish blue, because to me his colors were more the red, silver brown type colors. Then this is his legendary look, which this was better. I liked this. It has a little more variation on the armor. I think it stands out better. Oh, he's got wings on the back. That's kind of neat. You think they'd hook his axe? I don't know. He probably knows how to work it. He knows how to use the axe to not get caught on his armor. But that'd be embarrassing. You know, if you try to pull the axe down and gets caught in the back of one of these wings, you kind of pull yourself forward a little bit. That'd be embarrassing. Kind of trying to fight for Darkseid against Superman and Batman. You kind of just. See, that'd be me. If I was Steppenwolf, I'd just trip all over myself and I'd be fired. I'd be sent back to Earth or something. But yeah, I kind of like this look here. And I just got this one too when they released it again for this final month, as they're releasing a lot of the skins they hadn't done for a while. Anyway, if I were Steppenwolf. Anyway, then we come to Darkseid, right next to Steppenwolf. I finally got him up to RB5. Yeah, finally, after all this time. Actually, after all this time, I finally got him up to Legendary 5, because I think he was Legendary 4 for a long time. I always felt like I was a little handicapped there. I don't think I did his costumes yet. It's late now. I mean, it's almost been a week since I recorded that last video, so it's been a long time since I got back into this. And one of the guys reminded me it's like 12 days before the end of the game, so I really wanted to get this video finished up. So I'm just, like I said, I think I said it earlier in one of the other videos, I'm just going to film whenever I can to get this done. Got Aquaman's original look, which is probably way more his classic look. I liked his legendary. It reminded me of the one I didn't read it much, but I remember I remember this Aquaman. Well, this Aquaman. I mean, he's like this Aquaman, but he had the hook. At one point, I think he even had water for his hand, and he allowed him to do like things with the water. And then they gave us recently I got this look, but I can't remember if this was new. I don't remember when this one came out. If this was a recent one or if this was the one that if they just had it. But this one I really like. I still like that gold, white, and black look for these costumes. It just gives them a real uniform look, and it looks nice. It almost makes me wonder if they weren't planning on doing all of them this way. I mean, it's just a recolor. I don't know if that's how easy to do the skins like that, but oh, now we have I kept saying chemo for the longest time, and I learned that it's chemo, the proper way, because for chemicals, chemo would be the cancer treatment, and this was the newer style that they'd released later, which looks really good, I guess. You know, if you're talking about toxic waste. I don't remember if his suit is his suit. His suit is his body, besides the armor that you see on it. But I can't remember if they said it was a glass or a plastic container in one. I know should look at the bio, but there's the original look. He looks way more solid here, which you kind of expect for one of those mobile games from 7 years ago. And then he had his legendary look, so he's just got better armor, a better looking face, better looking face. That's kind of it's a face only a mother could love. Yeah, they added his bubbles, and then they finally added this look, and this was cool. So let's check out his bio real quick. Let's see. Discarded chemicals and prototype technology unwittingly created this sentient vat of toxic waste, working to cure the world's ills. Professor Ramsey Norton would discard his failed chemical experiments into a disposal container in his lab. But Norton's failures resulted in the startling success, the creation of the life form known as chemo. Whatever was in that container that brought the toxic sludge to life, the being that emerged has rudimentary intelligence and aggressive nature that makes it a noxious menace. Oh, I thought they told it in here. I don't remember what I was reading, and I thought they said it was like a plastic container. How did that, wait, how does that move? Toxic chemicals in science fiction, you can make it do whatever you want, I guess. So yeah, I don't remember. It might have been a summary. It was definitely a summary. We got Artemis, one of the outlaws, and I don't remember. I'm not gonna read anywhere by. Oh yeah, they listed her as an outlaw. I couldn't remember if they had her in there. There's her original look. She got that tiny little axe. This axe is a lot better. I like that axe better. It looks like it actually do some real damage. And I don't remember if there were any other skins for her or not. That's got Black Flash. Oh yeah, I got the new one recently. That's why it was still marked as new. And this had been out just for a few months. And there's the original look. Legendary. I'm gonna run this for a while if I run them again. If I run them again, I just haven't been playing much. Unfortunately, since the last month kind of gave us everything for free. For me, there's no real game, so it's been harder to feel motivated to actually play because there's nothing to really work for, but there's also nothing to really lose either, which is kind of a shame because I really wanted to my original plan was to play it to the end and just enjoy it, but unfortunately, the only thing really to do is PvP. And that's still using the same meta, and I still have the same problems, and I still have to use my same meta teams to get out of a lot of those teams. Although you can search, Siege has been real good because they limited who could be taken in there, and that's helped out a lot. Deathstroke, Slade Wilson. That was his original. The one before with the beard was his original look. Then we got his legendary. And did I get the other one? No, I did not get the other one. That's too bad. I think they released it before they made them all cheap, and I didn't quite have the gems that I have now. Because I know it was recent, but I'm gonna run a maskless for a while. Wonder Woman. This is the only one where I'm not sure if I like the look because I don't know if I like the white hair. They still got white into the costume because it's got the white, gold, and black, but I feel like the costume is gold and black and not white, gold, and black like the others. So they made her hair white, and that's, to me, doesn't feel as uniform as the others. Anyway, there's her original look. Oh, I remember why. I was thinking of the wrong Wonder Woman. There's 3 of these, and I was thinking it was the other one. So anyway, and there's her legendary look. This is the Princess of Themyscira, and there's her Starro look. And I think this was what most people would consider the main Wonder Woman, because the other one with her hair done up was kind of the special. You get the game if you get her if you pre-ordered the game. So she was like a special striker that they made available. But I remember now, this costume did not release with the other white, gold, and black costume. So this was a totally different costume. So that's why this doesn't quite match, and that's okay. I do like this look. Like I said, I just don't know how I feel about the white hair. I'm just not used to seeing her that way. But then we have Arsenal, Red Arrow, well, sometimes known as Red Arrow, Roy Harper. And there's his original look. It's not so red there. He looks orange. Well, at least on my phone. Maybe he looks more red on your screens. And then his, back to what I would call his red look. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just the lighting on my phone, but that doesn't look completely red either. There's a few parts that look more, I think, maroon. A little bit there's a little bit of purple in there too. I'm tired, sorry. So, anyway, Sinestro, Yellow Lantern. I was working on getting him RB5 last month. Well, the last year. It just took me a while to get the fragments. That was his original look. This is his legendary look. And then he's got a Black Lantern look. That look is just weird because their skin looks all gross and crappy looking. But it does look like it is a cool costume though. And that's a cool thing too. If you get enough of these Black Lanterns, and then they all look like they are in uniform. And then we'll go back I do like his original costume the best. That's kind of how I think of him. Aside from the black and blue look, but it kind of, that was the classic one. I think of that one too. But I did like the Yellow Lantern core costume. The Atom. That's his legendary look, and I'm gonna go to his original look, or his classic. I would say classic look, but yeah, I'd say this is probably how I think of him. When he's from the old. Oh my goodness, I say the old cartoons, but they predate me. I watched them in reruns. Part of I think it was the Aquaman cartoon series. And then they had Aquaman primarily. Then you also got a Justice League cartoon with Green Lantern, Hawkman, the Atom, and Superman. And I think it was kind of it rotated out who was in it. And sometimes he'd ride around on the shoulders of the Flash, and then he'd get in somewhere and stop the bad guys. But I do like his legendary costume on this. I think that looks kind of cool. This almost looks like the recent TV shows version. Not quite the same, but it's more in that line. Solomon Grundy. That's his original look. There's his legendary. And back to his original. I'm kind of setting these back where I found them so I can come back and play them later as the way I want to. That is Starfire. That is her Outlaws costume. There's her Starro costume. There's her uniform look. I don't know if that's the right way to put it, but of course the white, gold, and black look. I might stick with that. Although I was going to do an Outlaws team before I was done too, so I was going to put it back in the Outlaws with Arsenal and Red Hood. Then I was going to throw in one of the other members from the other Outlaws team with Bizarro or Artemis. I just don't remember who else was all in all that. Yeah, we'll go with this for now. But yeah, I finally feel like I got some options on what they look like. This is Bizarro skin. This was kind of wild because this is his legendary look. And this is the first time I realized they could do some really different things with the skins. I mean, you saw what they did with Lex Luthor and his Apocalypse look and how different that looked. But this is his legendary. It's a pretty thick, beefy looking skin. But if you go into, well, that's an even different one. This is newer, and I just got it from the recent sales. But look how different he looks there. But even more different than that is when you go to his original look, he's just so scrawny. I mean, yeah, he's still got the muscles, but he looks skinny compared to the other look. And I thought, how How did they do that? Because back then I mean, when they first started doing the skins, a lot of the skins, even though they look different, they still look like they were the basic shape and size. I didn't think they could change it, and this one kind of showed me what they could do if they really wanted to try. And they did. They did this in some cases, and it was really cool. Swamp Thing, I'm still not used to seeing him with wings. Um, of course, I'm used to seeing him as. Oh, where did I get this one? I don't remember when I got this one. This might be one of the special ones that came in the bulk pack, and I just didn't realize I had Swamp Thing. So I'm glad I'm doing this too, because it gives me a chance to see what I missed. But I'm used to seeing him like this. This is how I remember seeing him in the 90s during his TV show. I never read his comics. So I always came at it from the old movies and back in those movies and TV show, he was once a man. And, and I know now that well, maybe I won't spoil that. Watch the new TV show from 2019. It's currently on Tubi TV if you want to see that story. That's really good. It's too bad that didn't continue on. I think I'll keep him like this for a while without the wings, but I ran him with the wings for a long time. The Flash, it's funny how I leave him on the blue. I just got this, so I was just using this for something new, but I still prefer, well, that's Old Man Barry. Got this recently. So I don't even know which order they all come in now. That's the one that came with that other Black Flash costume. They had a month of the Flash. That was really cool. Or was it month of the Flash, or was it Raid? I think it was Raid prizes. I'm sorry. Starro Flash. There's the original costume. Probably my favorite because that is how you think of the Flash. It's kind of the costume I kind of wouldn't have minded for Wally if they'd changed the belt and kind of made it look more like Wally's costume. But I do like his legendary. I ran this forever, even when I had the option going back, because I like the way the gold looked. Maybe that's why I like Shazam. Those red and gold colors, Captain Marvel. Those red and gold colors, Lightning Bolt, just always looked really cool to me. But I'm going to run them with blue because it took me a long time. I always thought I'd get this one, but I just got it recently, so I'm going to run it for when I run them again. That's what I'll be running, or he'll be running. I'll be watching and tapping. Siren, Aquaman's sister-in-law, Mara's sister. There's her original look. And then there's her armored legendary look. Freddy, that's how I remember him. Of course, the movie, he doesn't look like that. He looks adult-sized. But they said, how'd they say that? Well, someone was talking about how Freddy, Captain Marvel Jr., and all of the Marvels, there he is without the hood. Of course, I'm sorry, this is how he would look. But the hooded one was a little different, is newer, I guess. But that was they said that when they changed that he would look like their ideal, how they pictured themselves in the ideal form. And of course, Billy saw himself as an adult. Mary didn't really change, and when she changed, at least not in the old cartoons. But of course, they still didn't know who she was. Some did and some didn't. It was kind of funny who knew the secrets and those things. But they said Freddy his ideal wasn't so much as changing into an adult, but just being able to walk and just looking like himself. He was comfortable with how he looked, I guess, was how they put that. But I don't remember who was being interviewed during that and when they were talking about it. Lobo, the main man. I always pictured Randy Savage as his voice. I think somebody that did it sounded like Savage. That's probably why, but back to I'll leave it on his legendary look here. We got Grodd. This is the Speed Force skin costume. He's got the Flash emblem on his chest because he has a power where he's got like memory of this Speed Force memory. I liked running him when I could run him. I hadn't run him for a while. There's his original look. I kind of wish my screen could format this a little bit better so you could see him without his name all over him. But this one made him look really tall. When he first came out, he was shorter than he was now. and a lot of people got upset because Grodd's supposed to be big, and they resized him, and they put out a memo saying, "You thought Grodd was small. That was just a trick on your puny human minds." It was something to that effect, and it was their way of announcing that they had corrected his size, which then made people go, "Can you make Chemo bigger?" And because Chemo was supposed to be huge, and well, I don't think that didn't happen. At least I don't think it happened. I don't think there was any size increase. I mean, look how short Doomsday is here. You'd think he'd be about the same size, but he's not. It's just that's his. Oh boy, you know what? I don't remember which one his original look is. If this is it or if it's the other one. Nah, this is the legendary. I know because it's glowing. He has got the green kryptonite stuff spiking out of him. I always remember him tearing that stuff off until he looked more like this. Not the green kryptonite, but the mask. He had like a green suit, and I remember him tearing out of it in that comic book, and that was crazy. The back in I think it was the 90s was when that was done. Um, but yeah, so I always thought that was weird that when they did the legendary, they stuck the part of his old costume back on, or at least it looks like part of his old costume to me. Zatanna, this is her new costume for this last month shindig, and there's her basic look and her legendary and her fancy costume, her Starro costume. I'll go back to the newest one here. Clayface, that's his legendary look. His basic look. And did he get anything else? Nope, there wasn't. I don't know what else you could do with him unless you had him like changed his hands into something to punch with or something, to hurt the enemy or something. But it wouldn't really hit any harder. It's just the way they'd make it look. The Flash, Jay Garrick. That's his legendary look, which I like. I like this costume. Sometimes I like the classics. Sometimes I like the new stuff. I think they had some good ideas for some of the legendary costumes. But then that's what you're probably gonna remember is this look. I'm gonna lose my voice while doing this. Excuse me. So I do enjoy this legendary. Would have been you got Hippolyta. Or Polly, if you read the JSA. It's weird seeing her with blonde hair after reading the JSA stuff because she basically looked like Diana because that's that way they correct the timeline because it was Diana originally, and in order to make the modern JSA have a Wonder Woman at the same time that Justice League had Wonder Woman, they ended up changing it over to her mother and made her a what they call that. A reserve member. So basically, she wasn't there all the time, but they could call her in whenever they wanted to. Oddly enough, I'm going to call it Jeff Johns' run for lack of a better term, but that was the one where he wrote most of the stories in the 2000s, and I don't remember when that run ended. But there was a point in the Wonder Woman comics where Hippolyta died, and I don't remember that. And maybe it was one of the I don't know all of the books. It might have been one of those crossover events where it happened, but they didn't seem to mention it in the JSA. And at the end, when Degaton is going through, he's looking for Hippolyta, but he doesn't know why he can't find her, or something like that. It's been a little while since I read the book now. But this costume was the special costume that we got, and I already showed you some of the others, so I'll just keep going. I'm just putting it back on the one I want. Vixen, this is her legendary, and that is her standard costume. And I don't remember if she's got another. I wish she would have got another one because she's like fashion or model or something. Would have been interesting to see her with different costumes too. It just, it would have fit her character to have different costumes. That's what I'm thinking. Got Stripe here, Pat Dugan, also a member of the JSA. I always remember seeing him in the background of the different animations with Stargirl. I knew who Stargirl was because they'd mentioned her name once in a while, they probably mentioned Stripe, but I didn't associate it with him at the time, because at that time I wasn't reading the comics or didn't know much about the JSA, especially that current run that was going on. Vossman from our alliance has gotten me into these comics, and I just started reading through them. Really love them. Those are good comic books. The Joker, Damaged Goods. I think I talked about him in one of the previous videos. I think the last story mode with Zatanna. Oops, I didn't mean to leave him right away. Yeah, I talked about him before, but yeah, I finally got him to RB5. His coat here looks like a purple disco ball. That's my only real comment here. And he's not wearing any shoes. I mean, could you imagine stepping on something with like? I mean, Batman just probably has like a belt in his utility belt. He's probably got Legos. He sees the Joker coming at him barefoot. He just throws him on the floor, and the Joker's like, yeah. Oh, that's kind of mean. Batman shouldn't do that. I'm sorry. I wasn't. So this is going to be a weird one because I'm tired. Livewire. Livewire's Storm look. Reminds me of Storm's look with the mohawk. And they both use the lightning. Well, I guess Livewire's more. I don't know. Is lightning and electricity? It's kind of the same substance, but I think of Storm's lightning is more like natural, not nature from nature, and Livewire is more from like the electrical socket. I don't know why that would matter. Maybe one's AC and one's DC. Well, one's definitely DC. But that. Sorry, I do apologize for that one. I didn't write the jokes. I just said them. That's all. There's the good Joker, the one everyone else built up, and I left at level 60 because I did. That's his standard look, of course. And there's his. I do like this look too. I kind of, when I did use it, I bounced between the two. To me, this almost looks like the same. Oh, that's the fancy. What do they call this? The White Knight costume. I don't remember what this one was called, but I'll call this Bat Joker because he's got his Batman shirt on. Oh, I guess it's not the same costume. The color's not quite as out there as it is on the one with the hat. Yeah. But they looked similar enough. I almost thought it was just a change of the hat, but I guess not. I did look up their original designs on this on one of the ArtStation websites for DC Legends. They had some different versions of this costume and stuff, and I don't remember. I think it was more of an Arkham design. It was kind of not Arkham the game, but like the actual asylum, like it was something he would have worn in the asylum, and that looked kind of cool. There's Red Hood, which I hadn't really read the more modern comics. I think this one's a more modern look that he's got, and I never got him to RB5. They must not have released him yet, or I missed the sale. That's too bad. I was wanting to take him up if I had the chance. So there's his original look, which I do like this look. This is a really good look. I like the armor he's wearing, the jacket, the bat symbol on them, and then of course his hood. Of course, he named himself after the Joker's original secret identity before he fell in the chemicals, which I don't know if that's still in the current Batman continuity or not. And then, because the continuity is always, it's just a matter of which Earth they're on. Then there's his legendary look, which this was really cool. I like this one too, because it looked like he got way more tactical, a little more red. Actually put a hood on. Of course, Joker's hood, I don't remember what his name was before. It was, but when he was the Red Hood, his red hood looked like a tube. I thought it looked like one of those long light bulbs that kind of just stuck on his head. It was just red. I'll go back to this one. This one's new. It's not my favorite, but it's new and it's something different to see. Then we got Cyclone. Now this gal, and she's with the JSA, Maxine Hunkel, and I think she's related to Ma Hunkel. And the ones that I had read in Jeff Johns' run hadn't gotten to her. If there was, I think there were some after that weren't written by Johns. I wasn't able to keep up with the DC. I was reading them through the DC Universe app, and I had to let that go, so I didn't get past that run. His run when I think she came back, which otherwise I would go to some of the. I was going to read some others too if I had time, but I noticed that she's got all Wizard of Oz references. No Place Like Home for movie number 1, Good Witch, Bad Witch, Don't Be Silly Toto, and Behind the Curtain. And I thought, what is? I get that she does the whole wind cyclone thing, so it's the twister um, that takes Dorothy to Oz. But I don't know. I mean, her costume definitely has kind of a Munchkin thing going on, except it's not blue. Um, so I don't know what I'm gonna have to get back to those stories at some point and find out what her deal with Oz is. Because like I said, the books that I had gotten, I had hadn't gotten to her character too much in there. Striped stockings like the Wicked Witch of the West when in the movie when they curl up at the start and you get the ruby slippers. You got the ruby slippers which look like tennis shoes here, but that's what she calls them. The witch hat, the red tornado poster, and Nanobites research, and of course, so the top half is Oz stuff, and the other stuff is more of how and the old VHS tape. The old VHS tape, wow. Kids today, you don't know what those are. Anyway, oh, and then I'm gonna go ahead and do the costume change because I didn't get her up. I didn't ever get her. I never got enough fragments to do that. I didn't even get her up to L5. It's too bad. So now we can change her costume, and that's her regular look. Well, her standard look. And she looks like it's like she just walked off the street and said, I'm going to be a superhero and fight crime. I was like, don't you want a costume? Nope. I'll just do this for now. And then she got her costume. So, I don't know. I don't, like I said, I didn't know much about her. So when I saw this, I just thought, oh, she just looks like, it'd be like having Clark and then having to unlock his legendary to get his Superman costume. To me, this looks like just normal clothing. So I don't know if there's a significance on this or not. And now I'm showing my great ignorance in my JSA stuff because I do love the stories. But I just, like I said, I couldn't afford to keep the app going. So anyway, we got Icon, Augustus Freeman. We will go ahead and unlock his skin and change him over. And I gotta watch my goal. It doesn't matter. I can get more. As long as I don't go down to 0, I should be fine. That's his original look, and then his legendary. Dr. Poison. Oh my goodness. I must be down to where, oh yeah, I got past, I'm getting down to the bottom where I couldn't RB everybody. Actually, I could have rebirthed her now. Let's just do that while I'm thinking about it. No point in paying the 1,000. I'm still saving the 1,000 gems, even if I don't have to. I mean, just you spend like 10 gold and you get like a 25,000 gems or something. So it's all free at this point. So that's her legendary look, and then we'll go to her standard look. This is kind of how she looked in the movie. I mean, even this gear here, you can kind of tell it looks like that piece that she wore over her face to cover whatever. The scars, I think. This was the one that made her look like the, oh goodness, I can't remember. It was Incredibles 2, but I can't remember the name of that enemy there in that one. But that's what that reminded me of. I think that's who that reminded me of. That was some of the stuff I hadn't even thought about that for 5 years or 2 years or however long it's been since they brought her to the game. Oh, I rebirthed her, so she moved it. I was like, how did I get the Cyclone? Wow, I bumped her up a couple spots. Then we get the Barda, which I did. It's funny how low on the list she is, even though she's much higher level, much higher gear. Was she rebirthed? I guess not. I guess I got the fragments now because they gave them to us, but I never got back to rebirthing everybody. Unfortunately, like I said, between time and the losing the interest in the game, I just haven't played it. Plus, there's been all these bugs where it would restart. I'm noticing this is actually running quite well tonight, so I'm glad. What do we got? Oh, that's her short version. Remember when I said they could resize them based on skins? They added roller skates to her, so which makes sense. And you think, well, maybe they just sized her so she'd be below her name. But if you put her out on the field, oh my goodness, did she stay small? No, well, maybe they did. Because she's taller there. And then she's shorter. And there she's shorter. Oh, I'm going to take her into the game like that. Because I know if you take the roller skating one, and I don't know why she's wearing skates. I think this was the same thing as the Zatanna. They just did some of those, they did what they called bombshell skins. And the skates, even though they should have put her up another inch or two, instead they made her smaller, so she was a lot shorter on the battlefield. And everybody's like, what happened? She's supposed to be big Barda, and this is little Barda. And it was just funny. So, sorry I keep cycling through. I just kind of didn't notice this one was smaller. So we'll just get back to where I was before. And then Lex, his war suit, I think they corrected his sizing. Because at one time I thought his legs or something didn't look quite right. And so I overlaid him with the other Luthor, and it looked like the middle between his knee and his feet was where the knees were in the suit. And I thought, man, if that thing bent and his legs were in there like that, he would break his legs. And I think they fixed that, because when I did it again later, it wasn't like that. I was like, oh, the legs actually match up. So that is Assault War Suit Lex. And I'm just going to go ahead and do this. Well, this is going to mess me up, isn't it? Because it's going to bump him up. Maybe I'll stop doing that and just do the gold, so I don't keep repeating. And I know I'm going to be taking forever to. This is going to be another hour as it was. Or as it is. There's this normal look. To me, that's not much different. It's more green and purple, where this one gets a little more. I guess it's more purple. It's still green and purple, but there's less green. So, oh my. Yeah, let's back out. Go back to where I was. I don't plan on doing any editing because I don't want to do it for just that. Yeah, we'll just do the skin changes. Even though I could rebirth everybody, it doesn't matter at this point. Talon, William Cobb, works with the Court of Owls, I believe. This was not a story I was very familiar with until recently. There's the original costume. I used to use him quite a bit because he had kind of an AOE bleed attack, and you team him with Dr. Poison, and wow, they could get really good things. I think that's how that worked. I don't remember why I stopped doing that, because that was actually pretty decent. I think it was that he got past some of the debuffs. Purge all immunities before damage. It was, yeah, if they had a debuff immunity, he could remove that, then still hit them. It was nice. Gal Gadot, I don't know how to say her last name. I've heard it both ways still today. So even then I'm like going, okay, well, the people who know how to pronounce it say it both ways sometimes. It's the skin they made when her Wonder Woman movie came out. And I remember that was the first time they made a reference to they really made a point in the event storyline about the multiverse, and that she was not their Wonder Woman, but she was still a Wonder Woman. That would still help them, because they were noting how different she looked. It's her legendary look. There was some good. It's too bad she never got a rework. This was a really cool Wonder Woman. For a while, she was really good, but she just the newer characters had this power creeping thing going on where she just got overpowered, and like a lot of other characters did. I don't remember if they ever gave her a stat boost or not. The Monkey Prince, Marcus' son, I'm not real familiar with this character. I remember hearing about him, but I never really read any of the books with him in it. I don't remember if he was in any of the animation stuff or not either. But he seems familiar from somewhere that I've seen, but I can't think of what that was. This is his legendary look, and then there's his regular look. And I never built him up, because he just wasn't on I had a list. I basically said, I'm working on these guys, I'll do these orders, then I'll move off to these other guys, and I never got down to them. I got Ursa. She was also on my list. She was one of the other ones I started to go build up right away, and then I kind of tapered off when I realized that I was wanting to work on some of my other ones more, but I got her to 60, which at least made her usable for a while. That's her regular look. And then there's her legendary. I'm not using these guys as much down here, so I'll just go ahead and leave them where they are, wherever I land on them. This Green Arrow, this was when the first meta was Green Arrow and Green Arrow, the Emerald Archer, and then there was the Out. My brain just went away. The other one, but they were the Arrow, known as the Arrow Brothers, because everybody would play them together. Oh, he had a star look, and I never built this one up. I always built the other one up. I always built up the other one. I don't know why I said it that way. I didn't. I had played a second version of this game, so I could play the beginning again, but I didn't really go too far with that one. Because I just wanted to, there was a few things I wanted to see at the start, so I could answer a few questions for our new guys, and just it was kind of fun doing that, playing from the beginning again. This is his legendary look here. Is there any more? No. Oh no, I'm sorry. This might be the legendary. It's been a long time since I took him to legendary, but since I didn't really use him a lot, by the time I started getting him usable, they were no longer meta, so I just stopped building him up. The other one was still useful for a lot of other things because he could remove buffs. There's Dawnstar, and is this her new one with the? No, I don't know. No, this is her regular costume because I don't have a skin change option. So we'll just activate that, and I'm sorry, that was her legendary look. This is her normal look. So this is her normal look, and then this is her legendary. And then we got Red Robin, Tim Drake. He was good for a long time. Actually, I think he's still good if you need him. I can't remember what it was though that made him good. I think it was this middle move. Oh, it was his true sight, and then he could and then he could always hit them and take off the buff. So he could actually hit some of those evaders. I'm surprised it didn't make a comeback with the current evasion meta, but maybe he got power corrupt so much that no one could use them again. But yeah, between the taunting and the taunting and the evasions, he would have been a good counter for that. And I was working on getting him built up, and he just never did. There's probably what you'd consider his quote unquote Robin look, and then you got his Red Robin look, because when he went by Red Robin, I remember him wearing that cowl, and I thought, well, that kind of gives him more of a Batman vibe, but without the two little bat ears at the top. It gives him more of that Robin. If you look at his crest on the front, it looks a little more like that hood. So yeah, I see what they did there. Bane, he was good for a long time too. For a long time before I started taking everybody to level 76, I ran them at level 60, which is why I have a lot of 60 still. They just never got to them to get them up to 70 or 76. Just took too long. 60 was easy because you could get a lot more to 60. It didn't take as many resources. And I think it was I think at the time they capped the levels at 70, so 60 wasn't too far down. You could fight the set level 70s with level 60. And that's his original look. Oh yeah, he's got a different backpack. If you do this, then he's got a whole different, not backpack, but a whole tube system, putting that venom inside of him. Deadshot, hired gun. This is it was funny. They started you with this character, and then they didn't give any more fragments for a really long time. They gave them to you, and then there was no way to farm any more fragments. So you could never really build them up. He was great at the start of the game. They get him going, and he could help you out. I haven't had this look on him for a long time. I should have rebirthed him and all sorts of stuff. I didn't have these fragments till recently. I'll keep that for a while. Won't be able to use them unless I get my hands on meta before the end of the game. Plastic Man, I wanted to build him up so bad. I never got enough fragments to really do the to make it worth putting resources in to get them to 70 and build them up. Of course, now I got all sorts of the fragments or shards. But I'm gonna get him in his proper costume here. There you go. That's the way it should look there. And I remember watching his cartoon show when I was little. I always thought his feet were weird because he didn't have toes. They look like boots, but they're not. So that's it was great to finally see him in the game, and I wanted to build him up so bad, but I just didn't have the resources. I had a couple of teams in my mind already that I was working on, and I just thought, nope. If I found that if I let myself get too I did that for a few guys, but every time I did, it just took longer to work on teams I was wanting to try out. And Cassandra Kane. This is weird. This is killing me in some ways because I kept seeing this. Spend $1,000 for skin change is a waste of money, and now I'm doing it all over the place just to show everything off here. And there she is in her original costume. Is that it? Yeah. John Jones. It's is that how you say it? John Jones. Anyway, yeah. I don't know how to pronounce it. I think John Jones is if when he's kind of in a secret identity. The Martian Manhunter here. Oh yeah, that's why his skin's are real because he had his Black Lantern. Wait, is that a Black Lantern? Yeah, I think it is. That's crazy looking. They even gave him a power ring. That's cool. Oh yeah, he looks good in his fancy costume too. I was gonna work. I was gonna build him up. He used to be exclusive Red Alerts, and I took forever before I finally said, okay, I'll start working on him. And then they took him out, and I was like, what was I thinking? I should never have sat on him. So in order to counter him, because I didn't have him built up, I used Cheetah quite a bit. And then later Atrocitus. And then people, I always thought it was funny. I thought it was funny, but I also understood the concern. People wanted everybody to stop using, some people wanted other people to stop using Atrocitus because he's become part of the meta and they're tired of Atrocitus and Supergirl teams. But they please stop using Atrocitus. But then when you go to fight these teams, if they're not using Atrocitus, they're using the Martian Manhunter. Well, it's like, well, then that leaves me Cheetah. I still want to use Atrocitus if you're bringing in the Martian Manhunter. You see, there's kind of a dilemma there. My counter was Atrocitus, which, well, yeah, you see, but I understood the complaint because I kind of wish people would use Atrocitus less. Also, I'm making him dizzy here. Was there any other skins? Oh, the original. Did I even get to that one? No, I didn't. And that's the legendary where I started. I'm going to put him in his golden black, and if I do use him, that's how I'll use him. Aquamoa. Oh, Aquamoa. There was a lot of people that called him Aquamoa. That's probably the first time I said that out loud without actually thinking about it. Aquamoa was what they called him. I think I called him, for a long time, I was calling him Aquamomoa because he was based on Jason Momoa. And I wish they had reworked this one because I liked using him for a while. There's his original look. He's barefoot too. Boy, all Black Manta would have to do is just throw down some Legos just like Batman and defeat him right away. That's if he's on land. I mean, if you're swimming, those Legos probably wouldn't do too much because they'd just be floating. It'd be just pollution in the water at that point. And then that'd just be mean because then the fish might choke on those things. And then there's his armor. Well, it doesn't look like the armor from the movie, though, because I think they probably didn't want to make it look too much like the other Aquaman. I almost said Kid Flash. Impulse. Yeah. I was gonna try to get all the kids built up and then run a kid team. I was gonna do the same thing with like Monkey, and then I was gonna do one with the Monkey Prince, Grodd, Beast Boy, and there was one other one that I thought would, the detective. Detective Chimp, because I thought that would be funny to run them, because that was the closest I get to an all ape chimpanzee monkey team and that kind of thing. But I never got everybody leveled up enough. Ra's al Ghul, oh boy, I can't. Now I'm going to lose my ability to pronounce things. Ra's al Ghul, which is how I think you say it. I've heard it pronounced a bunch of different ways. Even Raz al Ghul, I've even heard that. That one doesn't sound quite right because I wouldn't, if it was Raz or Ras, I wouldn't put the apostrophe. I wouldn't think you'd need the apostrophe to pronounce it at that point. His sword was always so weird. I think it's because it's covered in something, but I always thought it looked kind of like a little see-through, but not quite. Not like Mirror Master. I guess those are only 2 costumes. Azrael. How many costumes did he have? Oh, the Black Lantern stuff. I'm gonna be saying that someone's gonna correct me like that triangle's not Black Lantern. I'm like, I don't know. I'm. That's just what I was thinking it was. Here, we'll check real quick. He should have a ring. Yep, he's got a ring. It just. Oh, I see. The rest of the symbols above it, but it kind of blends. I don't know. Maybe it's just my eyes. That's all I mean. It's like what, silver on silver on silver on black. Yeah, it makes it harder for me to see it. That's an interesting look. Okay, so you. Oh. Oh, so I have like 4 skins for. Okay, that's a lot. I didn't realize I had that many. And then we have Naomi, which the story was centered on for a long time. We'll never know what happened now. She's out there somewhere with the Batman Who Laughs, who had a plan. I think that's who had her last. Him and Ultraviolet, John Stewart, and that was like the last we've seen of her. I was listening to an interview with WROL, and they were talking about if they end how they used to. It was they were talking with Stanner, who used to be the community person for WB, and those are just street clothes too, kind of like Cyclones. I should have found out who all had street clothes and just ran a street clothes team. That would have been kind of cool if they did like street clothes for several people. You could have ran a street clothes team. Just looked like they had to fight but couldn't get through their costumes. But they were talking about how if they would joke about how if they ever ended the game, that they would have Dr. Manhattan come in and just destroy it all. And I kind of want to check in on the last day. If I don't play from here until then, I wouldn't mind taking a look and see if they do something with the final day to kind of have an ending to it. But I don't know. That might be something you might want to run on the hour or something, so everybody kind of has a chance to see it, because you're not going to have everybody tuning in on the very last hour. Plus, I don't know what time they're turning it off. Mr. Miracle, and I'm gabbing and not showing skins. I'm sorry about that. But it is kind of fun to talk about the stories. But my goodness, even I don't want to keep going for too much longer. And this is a long roster. This got a lot of characters in it, and there were still a lot of characters we wanted to see too. Not just the 2 skins. Now she's got a couple. That's her. I think that's her legendary look. So what else does she have? Oh, that's her. They call it her Aqua Girl look, which is weird because I've always read that she didn't want to be called Aqua Girl, which she isn't the Aqua Girl. I think that went to someone else. Yeah, that's her. I think that's her original look, which she looks a little more like Siren when they're in their basic look. And I always thought when they went to their legendary look, there was just almost no resemblance, even though they're supposed to be twins. I think that's kind of and twins enough that they can even fool Aquaman sometimes. They did that as one of their stories in the game for one of the events. Ravager. Sorry, if I would have thought sooner, I would have done all these sooner. I actually was just going to go through the ones I had done, but this is I'm just going ahead and showing everybody at this point. Oh, wow. I hadn't seen this costume for a long time. I got them all to legendary, but since I didn't get them at Rebirth, I wasn't spending money on just changing skins. But tell she's Slade Wilson's daughter from this costume. Because can't you see it's a family resemblance, the costume? Because that's how you tell how a person dresses. Miss Martian. Starro Martian. Starro Martian. Starro Miss Martian. That's her. That's kind of her. How I think of her is dressing like that. But I do like that newer costume. This one makes her look a little older. Like, the other one was more her classic look, but it reminds me of her being she's a Teen Titan, but so I was gonna say teenager, but yeah, Jesse Quick. I was gonna say that almost looks like street clothes too, but no, that's her costume. Gloves and mask and fancy boots. Definitely costume. I don't know which one I like better. I mean, leave it that for now. Got Rocket. Let's get her classic look on. I say classic. I don't know if they're all the regular looks are classic or not. So I don't know Rocket and Icon very well. I knew Static Shock a lot more, and I think they were from the same uh, series or section of DC, or of because I think it was like a. I don't know if I can't remember if their series of comics were when they were separate from DC, if they were all together at that point, or if they were all independent stories. There's her regular look. Oh, she got an R on her back. So that's cool. And then I kind of like this costume too. And she still has the R on her back. I just wish I had resources to get more. That I could have gotten more people worked up. Now Cheshire, another one of those meta characters I never cared about. I would have at one point when I was doing my bleed team. I would have loved having Cheshire and several of the others. I don't remember if this is her classic look or not, or if this is. Okay, so if I start here, that's her legendary look. This was the special skin available later look. There's her classic look. And I'm only saying that, like I said, I don't remember when I said this last on the last couple videos, but I was doing this for archival purposes. I put it in the subject of the first video I posted. So some of this is just, I go over some of this, so I remember some of it too later when I look at these. And I might someday. I mean, I don't know if I'll listen to all of it or not. I might even play the video and just put on some music or something. I don't know. Cyborg Superman. I like using Dr. Fate against him because he has a heal immunity, and Dr. Fate just gets him on every turn, which helps to cut down. I think if he's shielded, he has more of an attack, especially if it's over 50%. I don't remember. I don't think it matters now. I was going to look, but I don't need to. Skin change. There you go. There's his classic look. Or more. When I say classic, that's relatively speaking. It's more classic. Wow, his feet are like claw feet. I never noticed that before. I'm surprised at the detail that they stick in these sometimes, and I wasn't using him. But even on the battlefield, I wouldn't have noticed because he would have been facing the other way, and it would have been harder to spot the feet when you're watching the fighting going on. Ice. Let's see if we can. Oh yeah, okay. I don't know. I think I kind of like her longer hair better. Plus the costume's better. It's just kind of Grail. I don't know much about Grail. I don't know much about Ice either. In fact, Ice. I came up with my own Fire and Ice characters in high school. Never heard of them in the comics, and read the comic later. I was a little disappointed that the names were original to my creation, which somebody pointed out once. He says nothing's original; it's all derivative because it's easy to reproduce some ideas sometimes. There's Grail's original look. Did she have any other costumes? No. Excuse me. That's where a mute button would be nice. Can't quite do that quickly enough. Yeah, Miracle Molly. I still don't know much about this character other than what the event went through this last year. Mary Kowalski. She's a kind of a tech guru who kind of was disenfranchised with the way things worked. Whoa, those are some crazy pants. Kind of reminds me of something that Peg Bundy would wear. Oh, that's funny. Uh, oh, this is kind of more of a cyberpunk look. That's kind of cool now that I think about it like that. Fortnite did that big cyberpunk thing, so it's been on my mind for styles lately, which makes me want to watch Blade Runner. But anyway, got Lady Shiva. Um, This her original look. It's kind of a nice coat, kind of toned down from her. Her legendary looks a little. Oh, it's weird. It's a little darker color, but it's a good coat too. I don't know why I'm criticizing style. I don't know nothing about style. I mean, it's just Etrigan. Oh, right. This one, I just got this costume when they released him again. There's his original look, and that's his legendary. But yeah, that's kind of some of these newer ones that they were doing almost made it look completely different. Savitar is either the tallest character in this game. No, he's not. Well, he's obviously not the tallest, not with Giganta and Atom Smasher, but he's tall for the average for what would be considered normal heights. I mean, that's bigger than Grodd. That's getting like the size of Grodd's helmet, but I don't think the sizes count here as much. I'd have to see him on the battlefield. Croc, Killer Croc, which in Heroes and in Heroes or Villains is he listed as a hero? And in one of the newer animations, I've seen him acting as a hero too, which that's kind of wild. It's kind of funny how some of these villains like Killer Croc and Clayface are getting the kind of redemption stories lately. And in Clayface's case, there's more than one Clayface, so some of that might depend on which Clayface it is. I don't know why I keep wanting to tell stories. Oh, I just noticed it's almost like he's got his. He's got his Bell Rev prisoner clothes on there. Interesting. Silver Banshee. We'll change her. There we go. I should have done that a long time ago. A lot of people got upset because her legendary looks like she has a beard. It's not a beard, it's just that she just has that black and white costume thing going on, and the way they designed it, it looks like a beard. At least there you can actually see her face. Captain Atom. So what we got? Atom, Captain Atom, and Atom Smasher. Something tells me Atom Smasher doesn't like the other two guys. No, I'm kidding. Atom Smasher. Haha. Bad pun. Oh, wait. I forgot to do costume change, and I hope I didn't miss anybody earlier. There's his original look. Hush. Didn't know much about him until they did the story on this. There he is. Of course, it's funny because I really got out of Batman comics. I got, when I was growing up, I would have told you Batman, Superman, and that would have probably been about it. But that's from the cartoons, the movies, and the few comics I had. But later I kind of got more into Jesse, Green Lantern. I always liked Captain Marvel, but I had a few of his cartoons too. In fact, I probably saw his cartoon. Between Captain Marvel, which would be Shazam today, Captain Marvel and Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends and Plastic Man were probably the first heroes I ever saw on television. Then at some point, Super Friends TBS put that on. I saw those, but that's where most of my memories were. But before I really had cartoons that I remembered glimpses and flashes of waking up Saturday morning as a little kid and watching Spider-Man or catching Shazam or Captain. Well, yeah, it was called Shazam, but he was Captain Marvel. That's where some of the confusion came in. So here's Dr. Destiny. I'd never heard of this character. He was featured in the Night Terrors series recently, and I didn't keep up with that. I kind of know about it because I got the Justice Society, the recent Justice Society run, and I was thinking of getting the new Green Lantern run because I've heard Jeremy Adams has been doing a really good job with that. If you ever listen to the podcast of OA, they talk all things Green Lantern, and they talk to Spencer Nodell, who's Martin Lodell's. Oh, I'm going to mess this up now because it's been a long time since I listened to the interview, but I believe it's his son or his grandson. And he still goes around and shows Alan Scott some of his dad's stuff. I'm going to say dad because I think it was his son. I think it's his son. I think it's Martin Nodell's son. And I might be wrong. I might be wrong there. But he was showing off some of the artwork there, and it was just cool to see the old artwork and stuff like that on their YouTube channel. So Dr. Destiny, he was behind the recent Night Terrors, and I'm confused because it looks like there's some talk about him reforming in some of his bios and things. I don't quite understand because he was played off as the villain, and now it sounds like he's using it for good. I don't know. That confused me on that. But I thought he looked like Skeletor, and I kind of liked that part. That was the favorite thing about him, was he looked like Skeletor. Otherwise, I don't know anything about him. We got Steel, Natasha Irons. This would be Henry Irons' niece. Because in the TV show, he has a daughter who becomes the other Steel, and I'm gonna forget her name now because I'm just drawing a blank. But on Superman and Lois, boy, it's getting too late tonight, and I think I talked about that in one of the other videos I did. There she is. And Ocean Master, or Orm. That's actually kind of a cool costume. Just hadn't ran the original ones for a while. I almost said she looks too much like Killer Frost to me, but that's Flatline. Damien's girlfriend, was that how they did that? That's how they did it in the game. Whoa, she's got kind of she's kind of a cross between Livewire and Killer Frost for looks, kind of that blue skin, gray skin punk rock thing going on. I like the jacket better with the bones on the legs, I guess. Stitch, she reminds me of the Patchwork Girl from the Wizard of Oz books, because she's just a patchwork girl who's been brought to life, and that's kind of how that character. But Patch, of course, Scraps, that's Patchwork Girl's name. She was kind of crazy because her brains were kind of funny and stuff like that, because the wizard was not the Wizard of Oz, but the guy working on her was supposed to make her a servant girl, and the Munchkin boy didn't like that. He thought she should be smarter, so he added more brains, or add different aspects of her brains, and they weren't done in the correct measurements. So it was fun. But this Stitch, she's actually more orderly. She's she works with Dr. Fate. I think he created her or brought her to life, and so she's like his apprentice. That's why she's the sorcerer's apprentice there. Which I just noticed she's in her casual clothes there. She could be part of the street clothes group. Got Dead Man. I think it's his legendary costume, but I think his standard costume is kind of it's the same, a little less lines, a little less detailed. But that's kind of how he looked in the comics, I believe. Aqualad. Calderam. If I remember, I'm not sure I'm gonna get all the pronunciations correct. No, that's the new skin that just came out. Well, I don't know. I don't think it just came out, but they just re-released it recently. And then there's his original skin. The Wizard Shazam, which, how did he look before? Oh yeah, he kind of more like he did in the movie, I think. So, Batwoman. So her original costume was better too, I think. Sometimes simpler is better. And that's gonna be preference. Jericho. I think I like seeing his face better. It almost looks like Black Lightning's costume, now that I think about it. Oh, this video's getting long. I'm going to definitely have to cut this one up a bit so it's shorter. I say that now. I mean, technically it doesn't matter what I say, because you'll be seeing this when it's already been cut up. Probably be one of the last videos, because I'm getting closer to the end now. Speaking of which, I'm going to pause it. I will be back. I will take a break. Okay. So I'm back, which, I don't know. I say that as if you had a commercial or something, but for no time has passed, or at least, unless, of course, I cut it there. Parasite. Skinny Parasite. I went on weight loss for parasites, and now I'm a success story. Sorry, I'm sorry. It's, I just, I'm trying to just do this and get it done, and I just my mind says no. Let's do this. It's funny. Vandal Savage. You guys are watching me blow money that I never had. Oh, this is his more, his business. He's business attire. This is more of his. I was saying party attire, but no, this is like his old West attire. I guess I don't know. He's got kind of well, not really that. Maybe I don't know what kind of attire that'd be. Say the coat, but the coat's wrong for Old West because the yellows and stripes and stuff. It's definitely more festive than the other one. He just looks less. He looks less serious, but it also looks a little more dangerous. Maybe it's the knives. He's still got knives. What am I talking about? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. He just seems more relaxed here, but I don't know. If I had to crush Lobo's daughter, I think. What'd she look like before? Oh, okay. Oh, I see. The hair is colored different, and of course you got the. It's the same set of clothes, but more accented. If that's the right word for it. Dr. Light, which this was a character I didn't even know there was a female version of. Kimiyo Hoshi, which is a hero, and I always knew him as I knew the other Dr. Light as a villain, and I don't know if there's a family relationship between there or how she got linked into the Dr. Light stuff. Those are her costumes. I almost said Lex Luthor. I'm sorry. That's Metallo, also Superman villain. Runs on kryptonite. But, I mean, obviously when you turn him aside, he's not Lex, but boy, from that front, because it's bald and, except for the glowing eyes, you're kind of like, I almost wanted him to look different, so it'd be less, well, that looks different. I might actually keep that look there. It's I like this better. I am the Terminator. That's what that reminds me of. Talia al Ghul. I was going to build her up one time too, but never got around to it. I don't know which costume I like better there. It's kind of a moot point. Spoiler, Stephanie Brown. Another one of the... Wait, was she Batgirl or Robin? Or was she both? Sorry, I don't know much about spoiler. I learned about her when the Lego game had her in it, and I thought, who is this character? And I just looked her up and was like, oh, that's cool. Like I said, as I got older, I got out of the. I always thought when I was like a little kid that as I got older, I'd make money and buy more comics. But then I just found other things to get, and so but then when I started, I had limited comics I could get because I didn't even know our town had a comic book shop till I was older. But I used to ride my bike down to the gas station to get a couple of comic books a week. That was back when they were like $1.25, I think, maybe $2, but I think it was $1.25. And then our Spoiler's original look. That's actually kind of a cool look too. Which I think this is the costume she wore in the Lego game. That black mask and stuff. I mean, this looks more ninja apparel-y kind of thing. Apparel-y, that's the official term. Yes, they did crypto. Which is funny, I just started playing Strike Force and they got Cosmo, so they have a dog too. But this really surprised me when they did crypto because that was kind of cool. Can't remember if they did this because the crypto movie came out this year or not. I love how his tongue hangs out once in a while. I'm gonna watch the idle animation from it. Yeah, there it goes. I'll change his costume because his regular costume looks a little more how I kind of think of him. Well, I like seeing him without the heat vision eyes too, though. There's his tongue. I wonder if I can. Yeah, there it is. I'm going to try to hold him here because the game wants to reset him back to a standard position. There it is. His little Doggy tongue. Anyway, now there's John Henry Steele. Let's get him back to his classic costumes. I like that way better because I just don't see that new costume as. It's a good costume, but I don't like the way the headgear looks. I mean, at least you see more of his face there, but it just looks a little off. I don't know. But this is how I remember him. I mean, this is what I kind of like. It looks a little more like the Superman emblem because he wanted to honor Superman when Superman died, and it's like I remember Lois saying that out of all the Supermen that had appeared, because there was a bunch of them appearing, there was Connor, who was Superboy, totally immature and too young. Metallo was pretending to be a cybernetic Superman, he was claiming to be Superman but with cybernetic parts. That, but he was, and then there's the Eradicator, and she said out of all the Supermen, the only one that seemed the most like Superman was the one that claimed not to be him, and that was Steel. And oh man, that guy! Wow, during that story, that was crazy because I read a novelization of it, and I remember he was up in the air and I can't remember who saved him. If the Superboy saved him or something happened with his jet, he had to use up his jet engines out of his boots, and I think he was falling. I think then someone saved him, but I can't remember. It's been so long since I read that. It's been too long. I'm going to find that novelization again and read that because that was really well done. I like that story. Trigon. And rags to riches. That first costume just was like, okay, got better attire. Starro. The back of this guy is just crazy looking. I mean, because his front is so normal. You know what I mean? I mean, it's like you got a giant eye in front, and then you got teeth. It's like I don't know which side of this guy's considered better or worse. There, now he looks like a throw pillow. You just throw him on your couch and sit on. Oh, I need to stop doing these at night. I'm running out of steam, but we're almost done. I mean, there's a few more, but Two-Face. I for, oh, okay. Okay. I've forgotten what this one looked like with the regular version. Wow, look at that. That just looks nasty. I mean, that's how. I mean, he was blue in the animation. I think in the movie, not the more. And I wasn't thinking of the recent movie. I was thinking of the old '90s movie. He was, I think the. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna forget who played him now. Tommy. Um, I forget it. It's not. I'll skip it because I don't remember. I'll remember 5 minutes after I stop recording. But yeah, he had the red face. I thought it was funny that they switched colors from blue to red from the cartoon to the movie, and it kind of made me go, "What?" He's Phantom Stranger. Looks like he's gonna shake your hand. Granny goodness. Jeepers. Maybe it's the double talk, but she creeps me out. She talks about doing what's good for you, but that usually involves killing you or torture, other things that are bad. King Shark. I thought he had. Kind of surprised I didn't unlock that one. I thought he had another skin that. I mean, he has his regular skin too, but I thought he had a third one that I'd gotten, but I guess not. There was a lot of skins released this month. I just couldn't keep track of them all. Necron, which this was a weird look because he's got like the triangles. That is his thing. Oh, yeah. Well, see, this is what's wrong. He does have the triangle. But he has those lines above the triangle, and I don't always see a symbol with the lines. Sometimes it's just the triangle. I think That's how I was used to him appearing in the game. It was more like this. I don't remember. It's been a while since I played through the campaign. One thing about the campaign was you didn't get the story the next time you played through it. Yeah. Bloodsport was with the Suicide Squad the second go round. But I don't think he was in too many of the comics. I don't know if he's going to make more appearances or not. Garth, I almost said Aqualad, but he was at one time. But Tempest now, or at least in this game he was. It depends. Like I said, it depends which stores you're going to. Well, that's what he looked like before. I guess I didn't use him much. Fire. Wow, she's way down there. I must have started on ice and then never got back to her to fire. I don't know. Black Mask. He's got an alternate costume. That's why he's unlocked. Oh, the Black Lantern one. Yeah. That is cool. Wow. I didn't realize when I got this that it's... Sorry about that. I didn't realize his mask was kind of coming off, but it's kind of wild. At least that's what it looks like. I wish I could move that from the text. Let's see. There's his... That's his regular, his first look, and I didn't like that mask. I preferred it more with that one. I'd seen him more like that anyway. Aqua Girl, Tula. Yeah, there was an Aqua Girl. It was not an Aqua Woman. Tula was. I knew there was one of them, but I couldn't remember. Your prayers are being answered. I'm losing my voice. You won't hear my bad jokes anymore. Yeah, those are almost street clothes too. Latest in Atlantis. Was it Atlantis? Oh goodness. The Aquaman fans are gonna shoot me. Atlantis cities. I don't know. I was just gonna look real quick to see if I could salvage myself, but I can't. Sorry. Now I gotta go watch the Aquaman movie again. Because before that movie, I didn't used to pay much attention to Aquaman. There was one other thing that got my attention for Aquaman, and that was the old... Was it a PlayStation game? It's based on the comic. Because there wasn't a movie back then. Early 2000s. Anyway, but yeah, that was a long game. I was watching a playthrough of it recently, and I was kind of, oh, that's right. I forgot all about that game, but it was very comic oriented. If you didn't know anything about Aquaman, you'd learn with that game. Yara Flor from the Future State comics of Wonder Woman. Oh, she has Starro look also. There's her normal, her normal look. Yeah, she doesn't normally have a star on her face. No, the original look. And then her legendary. Black Hand. I think this is his legendary. And then he had I have no idea. I have lost track. This might be the regular look. This is the legendary, and this is the special costume. Oh, this is his Indigo. Yeah, I should have looked at the emblem. This is Indigo tribe costume. I don't know when that happened, because I am still reading through some Green Lantern comic books, so I don't know if I got this story in my collection or not, because I got a collected set of books, basically. I think it was one of the omnibuses, because it was just, sometimes just save money getting those, Ultraman. Huh. I don't know. I didn't run this. I haven't even seen people that use Ultraman never run this version of the skin either. But it's weird that his belt looks like those little bubble things on the Daleks on Doctor Who. Anyway, let's go back. I like this one better. Evil Superman. Although, I mean, he's not really the same as Superman because he powers up with kryptonite. John Constantine. He's got a couple different skins. He's barefoot, once again, and weak to Legos. Starro. Now he can't see the Legos, but at least he's got shoes on. I guess the little Starro can see the Legos, so he can move around them if he has to. And then the original look, non-legendary. Kite Man, this was crazy. His storyline was part of that Chaos Month, so the story was really weird because I think it was supposed to be chaotic, and I think they were trying to say that the game was being chaotic. Of course, some of that was from their upgrades, I think, but I think in the end they were trying to say it's chaotic, but it's going to be okay. And then, of course, the game ended after that, so it wasn't okay. There's his original look, and then his legendary. Dove, I would have built her up too, because she's kind of had some loose connections to the JSA comics, because she was the I'm gonna forget all that because that was complicated between Hawk and Dove and Hawkman and Hawk Girl. Somehow the new Dr. Fate after Kent. Oh yeah, that's right. She was the physical mother of that Dr. Fate, even though his quote unquote soul was from being the child of Hawkman and Hawk Girl. That was so complicated. I was like, oh my goodness, I don't think I can. You're supposed to be on the sides of the Lords of Order. That sounds anything but orderly at all. But anyway, I digress. So I'm trying to change her costume, but my taps were being ignored, or I missed. That's her original, and then let back. I'll put her back on legendary. Sometimes with the graphics, I think the legendary just suits him better because the details help with the higher graphics. Otherwise that looks too plain. King Shazam, he's from the he's the infected Billy Batson of the Batman Who Laughs universe with the Joker venom. So he's basically Joker Shazam, I guess. I think that's how I don't think anybody calls him that, but that's kind of how I see it. But I seen part of those pictures when I was looking him up, and he almost looks creepier as Billy than he does as Shazam. It's just, I don't know which costume I like better on those. Punchline. What? Oh, yeah, she's got like a tiny little, I don't know what you call that, a shawl or cape or something. And then there she is. Oh, she's got streetwear too. Glasses. She's a fan of the Joker. She'd go have her coffee at the coffee shop. Desaad. He was annoying to fight if he was teamed with Darkseid. Now he looks a lot like Shadow Weaver from He-Man. Or, I'm sorry, She-Ra. Both. Whichever one you want to count the series as, I guess. Mongol. He was hard to fight only because I didn't fight him a lot. And every time I'd fight him, I'd be like, what's his deal again? I do like the way he kind of grabs his hand and makes a fist. Some of these idle animations are actually kind of cool. Didn't he just move his... Yeah. So that's kind of cool. And then when you change him back, there's this, what I would consider more of his comic book look. Peacemaker. He would have been good to build up too. That helmet is so weird. No, I haven't seen that movie yet. The movie or the TV series. I don't have access to those. Hawk. I like his legendary look quite a bit better than his original. Although his original is classic, I do like that look. But I still think I like that legendary more. Yeah. I don't know. Probably just because I got used to it more from the game. The Batman Who Laughs. never. Uh, I don't really care for the character too much. Thinking of a crazy Batman, it's just the whole idea that he would throw his coat away. I mean, especially after Arkham, when he's like the whole. There's a similar idea that he gets infected with Joker venom or through the Jokers, and he fights it. Yeah, that Batman was from Arkham Knight. He was so injected with everything and cured so many times. I don't know what he'd be immune to or not be, or I don't know what he'd be susceptible to anymore. But it's no surprise. I mean, well, the big surprise is that Bruce is still alive in that story, period, for as long as he is. And then to get to beat the kind of beat, I played, I didn't actually, haven't got to the end of it yet, but the last one, and that's because I've kind of played it a little out of order when I was asked to help out with the game. And so I played one of the fights and he's fighting for his mind. And it's like to see him do that. And then suddenly in this, I mean, I get it's another world, another reality. And then suddenly to give in to the Joker side, it just seems a little bit of a not Bruce thing to do. And maybe that's why Batman Who Laughs versus the Batman, he'll lose because Batman will win because I'm Batman. Good enough reason for anything in the Batman. Those spikes, that's getting a little spiky. Man Bat. Oh, Grandpa Man Bat. No, I'm kidding. I don't remember where I got this skin. This must have been new from last month because I don't remember getting this separately. Oh my. This is his. Oh, that's funny. This is Child Bat. Hi, I hope my dad's around here. I'm here, son. Now I will teach you the ways of the Man Bat. But first, a word from your grandfather. Where am I? What am I doing? No. Anyway, sorry. It's just, it looks like an age progression type thing going on. He got little boy Man Bat, Man Bat, and old Man Bat. That's kind of wild. I mean, I saw that. I remember that now. Now I know why I never bothered going back to his original look. So I just thought that doesn't look quite right. uh, anyway, Captain Boomerang, classic Flash villain. There's a boomerang. Look at all those boomerangs. He's ready to take you down with those things. There you go. That's what you want for costume. Actually, I think it's both of these are pretty good. I mean, this just looks more like he's more dressed up, I guess. But yeah, I like this look too. The Eradicator. Well, a lot of Superman stuff came out of that Death and Return of Superman. I think that yeah, that's the more well, I don't know. They're still seem both of these costumes seem newer, but that was a cool look. And then Heat Wave, still it looks pretty crazy with that heat inside of him. I think there's a knot. Yeah, here we go. Oh my. Oh yeah. That's look at those tanks. That's kind of wild. I mean, that's he doesn't carry those now. Is that because he carries his heat inside of him? See, I saw him on the shows once in a while, but I don't. He never had the heat inside of him like that, and he never really had the other costume. But outside of that, I didn't really read the Flash comics, so I don't know too much about him. So I don't know why he's got the heat inside of him there. If that's probably what's generating the heat for the gun. But he still has the gun to probably shoot it out. It's an interesting holster though. It's just on his belt in the back. Blackfire, Starfire's sister. Oops, I went through it too quick. I'm so sorry. There you go. The original costume, I believe. Oh yeah, there was something to do with the cape and the hair. I think it was because it was kind of attached. It was kind of weird, but I mean, there was this. That's probably why I like this one a little better because the hair's not got that attachment to the cape. Whoa, yeah. Some of these guys are really tall. Their face just gets covered up. Amazo. This let's go ahead and, oh wow, okay. So yeah, I think I remember seeing a design like that from something. And this one I think is a little more unique to the game. There's Detective Chimp. Why does he have multiple costumes? Oh, he's all dressed up now. Okay, so that's how he starts. That's his regular look. Dirty Ape. Okay. Then casual look, I guess. A little more dressed up, more Sherlock Holmes. And then this one, I think this was. It looks like from the. I can't read it. It looks like Joe, maybe, or is it the same thing that Wonder Woman had on her helmet with her gold, silver, and white costume? Because he's got that color scheme going on there. Superman Doomed. This is the Superman who got infected by Doomsday from another Earth. And then his original look, a little less spiky. And we're done. That's just cycled over to the front. So that is that's my roster, I guess, with my stats and costumes and things. And Black Lightning ended up being the most powerful out of the ones I was getting leveled up. I don't know if I don't know if I had it. Well, it came down to where I was last in my roster when I went into it. But yeah, that's the roster. Those are the portraits. This would have been cool to go through too, but I'm not going to do that now because it just would take lots longer to do. So that is the video archive of DC Legends roster. Hope y'all had at least a good time seeing their costumes and the different looks. And hopefully I wasn't too bad at my narration. Hopefully my jokes don't stink too bad. You can always feel free to turn down the volume. But like I said at the start, well, I think I don't remember what I all said at the start anymore, but I think it was along the lines that I didn't expect this to be too entertaining. I don't expect people who didn't play the game to sit through these unless they're just curious about the characters and stuff and what they look like. But this will definitely serve myself when I think, it'd be nice to see that game again. Here's what it was like. And I got the gameplay in other videos, but this will show off all the characters that I didn't always play as well as the one. And hopefully, if you played the game, this will serve to be an archive for you as well. And well, it's been a heck of a ride. Been a lot of fun. So, DC Legends, to the developers, thank you. And we'll see you in the comic books, I guess. I'll see you in the funny papers. That's how the saying goes, right? All right. Hope you all have a good day. Talk to you all later. Bye.